Partho Mitra. Welcome to the channel, Kahanis Golden Bytes. Thank you for taking out your time, Partho. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joby. Thank you. It's a pleasure, privilege to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Partho. Partho, for the benefit of our viewers, may I please request you to give a little background about yourself, Partho, please?
Yeah, Joby. So basically, I went to St. Xavier's, Delhi. Wonderful memories. Finished school, and then I went fashions, which were much displayed in school because I was kind of a very introverted guy. I am known in the school for my football, but even that had to be extracted out of me by, we had a wonderful sir called Mr. Robinson. I was in a Nehru house, and he literally pulled me out of. Must have seen me playing. So those passions that I had, being photography and music, triggered, stayed, and developed. And after school, they started probably showing themselves. And I went to Delhi University, and I went to Kirorimal College, and that was because of my football. I was on a sports quota, so I used to play for the college team, and we were traveling all over. So I finished my graduation in '86. Between 1986 and between 87, that period, I did extensive photography. Extensive. I had my own dark room in those days on my terrace in a makeshift bathroom, and that was the days of film and black and white. So it was all like that, self-taught kind of thing. And I at that time was assisting a filmmaker called Deepak Roy, who was known for his documentaries. And that's when I probably realized that I would probably want to be a filmmaker. I started seeing a lot of films, festivals, and I realized that this is my calling. And I sent out my photographs. I had nothing to show. I wanted to go to film school. And luckily, I got myself admitted in Columbia School of Cinema. They liked my photographs of whatever they've seen, and I cleared the initial exams or whatever we had to do. But I had to pay for my education. It was a private school, and it was in Hollywood, straight on. So I left. We did not know anybody. I did not know anybody in America at that time. So it was quite a journey, and I was staying in Ramakrishna Mission. And I remember that Ramakrishna Mission was right in the middle of Hollywood in Ivar. And I was staying there with the monks. I used to do the daily chores, whatever, And that actually, Joby, probably goes and doing school. At the same time, in the free time, I was working as a painter somewhere or doing some kind of a decoration somewhere. I was kind of surviving myself because first year was paid by my father. And I managed to get a Dean scholarship so that my second year was taken care of. Filmmaking schools are very expensive. You have, a whole lot of stuff. So I was basically in school studying at the same time, working, staying, and then managed to somehow float myself and get out of the mission and get myself a room, a paying guest, PG. Things started improving from there. And in those 2 years, I finished. The school was for 3 years, but I finished it in 2 years. I took many more units in the summers and everything. And I then started working in Hollywood as in the film industry. Because see, the film industry is very regimented there. You can't just walk. You need to have a card. And the union is very strong. So I could not work in the A or the B grade films. So I used to work in the C and the sub independent small, and you used to get very little money. So I used to work as a assistant camera, sometimes a cameraman, sometimes a director, assistant director, third assistant director. So things were going on like that. And then I joined a company called Continental Cable Vision, which was in LA. It was a Jewish company, a television company. And the moment I joined them, the Gulf War started. Since I was in a Jewish channel, they got embroiled in it tremendously. And I had joined, my background was films completely. So I wanted to learn video. That's why I joined there as an intern. But moving in that period of probably 1.5 months, the kind of exposure that we got in that channel. We used to sleep there. So we were in constant live feeds. In that 1 month, the kind of pressure we had, and that pressure made us learn so much because you can't afford to make mistakes. So I was I did not know anything about video at one point, and in 3 days I was sitting on in front of a live switcher with 5 live feeds from all over the world and 5 journalists waiting, and my director screaming at me, if I've got a wrong switch. Plus I have the VTRs, I have the effects. That was, I think, a game changer. So much so that I realized that I stayed on. Gulf War finished. In Continental, they really liked what I was doing, so they gave me a big push, and I was pretty happy and comfortable there. But then I decided to come back, though nobody supported that decision at that point of time from home and all my friends in America, because I was actually very comfortable there. I had my own house. I managed to get my own apartment, my car. I was comfortable there. But somehow I thought that I am not really going to go the distance here in America, because the whole citizenship issue, getting a card, I didn't want to be in television. I wanted to do films.
Around which year was this, that you decided to move back?
1991 and 1992.
Okay.
Around that time. And that's when I had made my own decision. I decided to come back. I sold my car. I told my friends I'm going back, and I told Continental. They were very upset. They said, "Why are you going back?" This and that, usual stuff. And
no, that must have been a tough call. Moving back. Not easy.
it was a tough call. Now, when I look back, yes, it was a tough call, but somehow it was bothering me. So I came back to India in 1992. 1992, there was no cable television in India. There was no, ZTV had not launched, nothing had launched. The only cable TV was in very select places in Cuff Parade, in Bombay, in Malabar Hills, where the CNN used to, that's what they saw. They saw the war, actually, because that time CNN really became big because they were telecasting live.
Right.
America saw it, but India never. India only saw it through. So when I came back, I had some skills which actually very few people in India had, which is handling multi-cameras, live, those kind of things. Plus the film background I had. But Joby, I could not get work in India. I was sitting at home for 6 months. Wow. And I became frustrated. And I said that this is a wrong decision I have taken. I shouldn't have come back. I mean, small projects I was getting in Delhi. I was in Delhi because my hometown is in Delhi. So I came back to Delhi. There was nothing happening because I wanted to fiction, and there was some PTI stuff that was happening by Shashi Kumar and some other stuff. So probably I used to get assignments for 3 months, and then there was a long layoff. Almost a year I was not doing anything. Oh. So I really, actually, I couldn't say anything. It was my decision. It was to come back. And so I thought, I don't know, maybe I need to move to Bombay and try so I came to my friend's house, friend's small apartment. He was a scientist in PIFR, Tata Institute of Fine, So I was staying with him for about 3 weeks just to check out. And I met a person called Siddharth Srivastava by chance. Siddharth Srivastava was a unique guy. This guy was now planning to start a cable channel, national cable channel in India. Remember, ZTV is not in existence. Nothing is in existence now. He had leased a Russian satellite, and he had some software that he had acquired from Bombay, the old film songs and stuff like that. So he created a company called Asia Television Network, ATN. ATN launched in a big way in 1993. So I started working with them for pittance, actually, because, I was not getting any. In the film section also, I was not going anywhere. Films are very unpredictable. Around October that same year, 1993, the big businessman called Lee Kai-shen, I think its name was, Star TV from Hong Kong. He saw his opportunities, I think, in India. He came to India and he had 2 meetings with he had a meeting with Siddharth also, and he had a meeting with the owner of ZTV. I forget now how I met Ronnie Screwwala.
Oh, wow.
So Ronnie gave me a call and he said, we are doing something. Z is launching, so we are doing some 5 or 7 programs for Z. So why don't you come in? So I went there, and actually the journey started there. I used to do a show called Chuck Review. I used to direct. I used to host, and about 6 or 7 new programs were started by UTV for ZTV.
Wow.
They were all launched together. Snakes and Ladders and some other shows. I was doing Chuck Review. Though it was started by somebody else, but I had the first season they had recorded. Second season I had to take on, and I finished that successfully. So he was very happy with me. Ronnie, probably saw that my skill set, and they were launching a big show, India's first daily soap, which would be telecast 5 days a week.
Wow.
And the first 5 days a week daily telecast. So a task that was at those times was very difficult.
So which year was this approximately now?
The planning started in around 1994, and this is the show called Shanti I'm talking about.
Okay.
So Shanti was planning and all started around 1994 early. Bennett and Coleman came in. And it was almost an impossible task to do something like this, that humongous. A show 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, continuously. And so Ronnie asked me if I want to direct that show. Adi Pocha was another person who was basically his baby. He had planned this completely in terms of scripting, and he was the other director who was there with me. But since I had the skill set to do something like that, being live switching, online, we were thinking of multi-cameras and shooting like the soaps that they shoot abroad, straight on. So nobody had that idea as to how to do it, even though it was, for me also, it was the first time in terms of handling something like this. I had handled news and stuff, but this is fiction, and that too in a multi-camera setup. So I was, because I think Ronnie saw when I was doing Chuck Review, because I was handling my own switcher, I was handling my own camera team. So he probably thought that I could be. So we launched Shanti 1994 in Doordarshan. And rest is history. It became one of the longest running shows and one of the most popular shows. I think he ended up selling Shanti in some 13 or 14 countries. And it went all till the end of 98. And I was associated with it till end of 97. I mean, I was at the end, by the end of it, I was directing only 50. I was giving them 50 days, and 15 days in the month I used to give them.
Wow.
It was a machine. It was like a machine. So that was my first show. And that set everything up. After that, it was, no looking back, because I started doing simultaneously shooting in Bombay. So I was doing Banegi Apni Baat and many other stuff. This is 95, 96 I'm talking about. And then Ekta Kapoor, I think, called me and one day, and he said that we want you to do stuff for us. And the first show I did for Balaji was, I think, in 1996, 1997. They were doing something for it. This was also their second show, I think, that they did. Second. Ekta was just 18 at that time. Something called Bandhan. That's when I got associated with Balaji. And after that, I didn't even realize how time. So I was constantly shooting, and mainly for Balaji, because I used to set up most of all their shows. Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki being one of the prominent ones, most of them, Kasauti. So I used to set it up and then hand it over, and set it up and hand it over. So this was, from there, the journey went on, Joby, and then I did a feature film for them called Koi Apsa. And then slowly, I did many game shows for all outside producers. There was something very exciting called Cricket with a K for Star. It was for, I think, Fremantle, Australia, where you had Navjot Sidhu, you had Shrikant, Jadeja, Shastri, you had Harsha Bogle. So it was a very wonderful kind of a setup. And
So,
like that, many, I mean,
so Partha, you've been, doing so much as you look back today after coming back. So, after the initial, thought process and thinking when India wasn't ready for the kind of, work that you had already been exposed to, the kind of experience you were bringing home. So, as you look back, Partho, do you think it was worth it all, that decision to move back?
I think it was. I think it was 100%. Now that I look back, I can say it very comfortably. And I think it was a great risk I had taken to come back.
Yes,
But I think you
sure.
need to take those risks in life. And, you know, though I frankly would say that I'm not a very big risk taker, I try to always find a very comfortable way. And I'm very comfortable in situations and try to take a backseat. But that is one decision I don't know, I took very instinctively. And it turned out to be
Yeah.
initially when as I said, that I was convinced that I had taken a wrong decision because I was frankly out of work for almost 2 years. And I was frustrated. I didn't know. I was frustrated with the kind of work that happened here and the professional, level. And so frankly speaking, at one point of time, I was thinking of going back and starting all over again.
The
But
initial
that's
years.
when yeah, that's when things changed, and I started getting those first initial phone calls, and then the wheel started, turning and rolling, and after that, it was no looking back, frankly, and I really didn't know how from 1994 I have traveled across and reached 2019, 2020 when this lockdown happened. That's when I actually slowed down. Then, of course, I realized and I came back and I said that, probably now I want to take a little different as approach because I want to now, uh, my passions that were so, probably inhibited. So music, I want to do a lot on music, my photography. So luckily I have a wonderful place here in Goa where, uh, I do a lot of bird photography and I sent it across. So I'll send some of those links, and I do my own music. Plus, I want to at the moment start a film school, thinking in my mind seriously here in Goa. So
Lovely.
things I want to take a different turn now slowly. So Joby, I think that in that absolute crazy phase of constantly running around with the actors and the camera, I think that's gone.
Wow. So, Partho, you know, you've had such a fantastic life so far, and you've already got plans for the years ahead. Uh, Partho, I won't take more of your time. I want to thank you for taking out time from your tight schedule and being with us on this channel and speaking to our viewers. Partho, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joby. It was wonderful talking to you.